What has simultaneously gotten worse and more expensive? Cable television. More commercials. Channels upon channels of crap. Ridiculous bill. Big Macs. That burger patty is a stone's throw away from being a slice of roast beef. Cable internet providers. Oh yes, sorry, your trial period was over. Your bill went up $200. Oh no, we didn't promise you 200 MB/s download speed constantly. We said up to. Read the fine print. I swear that Reese's peanut butter cups have gotten sittier over the years. The peanut butter seems chalkier and the chocolate tastes blander. Plus I can't ever seem to pry them out of that little cup wrapper without leaving the bottom chocolate skin stuck to it. I think the push to put them in the freezer and eat them chilled is a ploy to cover the declining quality. As someone shopping for a house, I have to say homes. Not only has the real estate market been ridiculously inflated, especially in NYC, my residence, I'm finding that the actual quality of a lot of these homes are absolute shit. Due to the ability to find and source cheap materials and labor, developers are able to make huge profits off high prices and low costs. It's making me really rethink if I want to buy a house, or just use all that money to aggressively invest. Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know if it's just me, but their prices have gone up and the quality has gone down. Clothes. Very few companies make clothes to last, and fast fashion is rising while the cost of items continue to increase. Privacy and anonymity. Scented candles. Yankee Candle in particular used to be the candle that was considered premium. But while they've never been cheap, at least a while ago it was worth the money. But now they're just exorbitant in price. They don't smell like they used to, and they are not worth the money. Photo booths. Oh, the old ones were so cool. 4 different real photos for $1. Now you pay $7 for 4 identical bad laser prints. My university education, specifically this year, they are raising tuition and fall semester has no in-person sessions. People outside the UK probably won't care, but the Christmas tins of Quality Street. College tuition. When I hear college used to be paid with a summer job, my eyes get watery. I'm a college student. Smarties. Never been right since they got rid of all the artificial colors. Better for you, I'm sure, but chemical blue was the best flavor. Ice cream with fudge in it. Used to get massive slabs of fudge, now they just have tiny nuggets. Clothes. Even a sweater from the Gap is like $70 now, even though the quality is about 10% better than Old Navy. God damn it, clothes retailers, settle down or I will go naked. Edit. To the people suggesting thrift stores, I agree. It's thrilling to find something special and cheap. You wash it, you're good to go. Plus retail clothing is so effing expensive nowadays that I would rather someone else take the hit of driving it off the lot. I remember the donuts at Dunkin' Donuts to be bigger and cheaper. All Cadbury's products. I'm sure this will get overlooked, but KFC. I remember growing up a whole family could eat there and it was great. Now it's just garbage. Super greasy. And will cost you an arm and a leg for a dang bucket of chicken. They have gotten way worse and the price has went up. New homes. Cookie cutter houses. Built with cheap contractors who cut corners left and right. Situated in neighborhoods with ever higher WA fees. And the HOAs are getting more expensive too. Any service ever. Not gonna lie. Modern business is based on a model of cutting costs. Everything Nestle takes over. Certain house appliances. My grandma has had the same fridge for 40 years. My parents recently had to replace theirs. It's their third in 20 years. The Sims 4 packs. Disney theme parks. Speaking pre-COVID world, they were better when you could do an entire park in a day. Cost much less, like $40 versus whatever the insane price is now. And they limited who could get in. Universal is the same way. Specifically Halloween Horror Nights. It was $15 the first time I went. They capped how many tickets they sold and you had time to do every house plus a couple of rides. It was my favorite and we would go every year. Now, it's like $70 for a ticket. You have to buy Fast Pass for another $30 or $40 just so you have a chance to do every house, because the lines can literally be hours long because they don't cap ticket sales and they recycle the same houses but pretend it's a new theme. It's so miserable we stopped going. Ice cream containers that were originally 1/2 gallon have been shrinking. They went from 64 ounces to 56 ounces and now 48 ounces. But the price hasn't shrunk. It's been increasing steadily. And the quality often isn't as good as it used to be when containers were a true 1/2 gallon. You should be asking what hasn't. Size of bags of chips. There used to be this burger joint called Joe's Cable Car near me. Great place. I miss it so much. A few months before it closed down, I was there and the owner, Joe, was having a heated conversation with one of his suppliers on the phone. After he hung up, he looked over at me and just said, "Price goes up, quality goes down." It took me a while to realize that that wasn't his whole supplier he was dealing with. Just a fact of life. People like Joe can't tolerate that. That's why the truly great things never last. Only the mediocre things are able to endure long enough to degrade into the universally hated embodiment of entropy that the physical world allows for. Face razors. They had it perfected with double-edged blades in a metal razor. Cheap and incredible shaves. Modern plastic disposable razors are worse on your skin, give a worse shave, and grotesquely expensive. They are nothing more than monopolies controlling the availability and accessibility. When you go to the razor section at the store, you can only choose from their garbage. I give double-edged metal razors to men and women loves ones as gifts, and universally their minds are blown realizing how much better and less expensive they are. Health insurance. Almost everything. Planned obsolescence and expediency has taken the place of quality and craftsmanship. Grocery store ice cream. Food. Unless you make it yourself. Even then, ingredient quality is lacking unless you're dropping way too much money. Panera Bread. College education in the US. Not Arizona tea. That's for dang sure. Edit. Thank you, fellow Redditor, for my first award. You are so kind. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Their big cup is basically the size of their original cup for double the price. Also, it tastes different. I remember as a kid the original peanut butter cups came in those 4 packs and you could individually peel away the chocolate from the peanut butter. Like, part of the game for me was to try to peel back the chocolate so all I had was an intact peanut butter disc. Can't do that anymore. The chocolate is super thin and has no snap to it. It's just mush. Health care. Schooling. Clothes quality. So yeah. Everything someone works his ass for. Prague. I went earlier this year. It feels like Disneyland with the amount of tourists and tourist traps. And it isn't really cheap anymore compared with other cities in Europe. I visited Poland, Gdańsk and Wrocław twice last year and enjoyed those trips a lot more. For me, the movie-going experience. Tickets have skyrocketed in price, so have snacks, drinks, etc. Then you get the pleasure of sitting through 30 minutes of ads and previews. Then the sound is usually frocked up and too loud or completely unbalanced. Typical incredibly loud action sequences, but you can't hear all the frocking mumbling actors. Frock you, Eddie Redmayne. I've been to maybe 2 or 3 movies a year until COVID hit. Not sure I'll ever go back. Levi's jeans. Bar soap. Smaller and less in the middle. That bend don't impress me. Running for political office. Life. Coca-Cola. No real sugar, just HFCS. A shrinkflation has hit soda pretty hard. All candy kinda sucks more and you get less. Insurance in general. Thanks Congress and lobbyists for frocking everyone over. This goes for both political parties in Congress currently, if it's not obvious yet. Then I hate both parties with a passion. Wood. Wood is getting worse because old growth makes the best building lumber. But of course if you cut down all the old trees there are no more old trees to cut down. Fast food. I'm lucky to get a meal under $10 and even more lucky if it's accurate. Cell service. This coming from an avid Apple user. Apple computers. I'd rather take 1 centimeter extra thickness and more ports than using a hub for everything. Clothes. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes in the comments. The clothes in Ireland and Britain tend to be a rip-off. Movies. Bigger budgets, less creative concepts, writing. Most blockbusters are just derivative of pre-existing intellectual property. Feels bad, man. Cable TV. Edit. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. It'll help the sting of having to threaten to cancel service next month. Insurance. Costs more but seems to have clauses for everything that it doesn't cover. Education. Long ago, the premise of institutional education provided promise. As the information age progresses, the quality of institutional education has dramatically reduced, but the expenses of education has risen dramatically. With the rise of computers and online education, people are learning elsewhere even though the legitimacy of institutional certification remains large. For that reason, the quality of education received is vastly poor since people will be enrolling regardless of any pressure to improve themselves. Concert tickets. Hear me out. I'm not saying concerts are getting worse, but the entire process for getting tickets, as well as the pricing, have gotten worse. You used to be able to see big bands for like up to $100, but now every concert is literally hundreds of dollars for a nosebleed seat alone for any band. Now, instead of going to retailers to buy physical tickets, we are buying from city corporations like StubHub and Ticketmaster, who on occasion scam people and frock around with ticket pricing as a result of the online move, meaning that ticket sellers can now be subtly scammy. Food. Cadbury. Chocolate. At least over here in UK it has cheaper ingredients. Sizes have shrunk and keep on shrinking. The price has stayed the same, so you're paying more for less. Doesn't taste the same. Most of their chocolate tastes chalky and bland, and the texture is terrible. Gaming. Mainly microtransactions and subscription-based purchases. Smartphones in general. They made it less modular and more disposable. It's like you're forced to change your phone every 2 years, even when the only problem is a battery, which in the past is removable and can easily be replaced. The basic American dream. Air travel. Remember when you got a meal? Remember when you didn't have to pay to check a bag? Remember when your friends could wait at the gate for you? Realtor fees for buying and selling a house. I'm less than a year removed from this process and saw firsthand how silly the old model of using a realtor is. There was a time when a realtor was needed, but not anymore. Yet this archaic profession is still the gatekeeper to much of the process and inventory. Their fee is still 6 to 7%, yet what they actually do has diminished to what an algorithm can do better. They are warm bodies that needlessly eat up money on both ends of the sale. Insulin. Housing. Edit. Thanks for the award, kind stranger. I didn't think my comment would get this much attention. But wow. College. You read the book and teach yourself. Then you get tested on the material you taught yourself. Anything EA. Girl Scout cookies. I remember people whining when I sold them back in the day when they were $2.50 a box. Now they're what? $5 per box? And not nearly as tasty as they used to be. Emo. McDonald's food. Reddit. More ads. Corporate and state shilling. More sit posts. Worse website. Like adding not just profile pictures, but allowing profile GIFs? There's a chart for the cost side of this. Education. Health care. Housing. Compare it to technology. Imager. Com. Z5ICUAA. PNG. Our World in Data. Org. Technological progress. College. Edit cucked by autocorrect. Edit 2. My most upvoted comment ever is about the failing education system of my country. This is most unfortunate.